How's it going, everyone? iPad holder's not holding up real well. It's been a while. I'll get to that shortly. Sort of fill you in. It's been about 5 weeks since I did my last video, I think. Just check. Yeah, it says 1 month ago. The Ryobi, the customer's weed whacker, 2 chainsaws and a hedge trimmer. I've revamped in here. I'll show you around shortly if the iPad holder holds up. So I've got a few extra saws in the collection. The 038 I did post up, that needs bearings, and that chains. I've got the 371 on the bench. This chain's sharp. I've got the gasket and seal set for that. Just got to get the bearings out and take them to the bearing shop, cross-reference with decent brand. 045. I got that off a fellow collector up on the border from New South Wales and Victoria. In his collection he had a Contra Lightning. I think it's a Model 43 Mac, the one with the tank up top and the handle and the chrome starter and all that jazz. He had 3 08S's, steel 08S's. Actually, one was an 082 and 08S. An IEL Pioneer. Another Big Mac, I'm not sure what it was. It's covered in dust. Anyway. The Homelight XL automatic there, it needs seals as well. So it's just going to hang. They're very small. I don't know if I can even get them anymore. A 359 Husky, like Bear Claws. It doesn't have the full wrap. It does need, I'm going to change the seals. It's got a slight air leak and it needs a carby kit and a couple of the small AV, the movement limiter caps. I got one, but one's no good and I need the correct screws. The 029 I put the Taxam engine in. I don't know if I've mentioned it in a previous video. Yes, I did. It was sitting there where that pool of oil is. That's from the Solo though, but Taxam top end. I told Sean I wanted 56mm standard size. When I got there, he took out he got me out an 039 top end. It turned out he gave me a 57mm, which is 310. So that's been sold, unfortunately. Sold that. I've got a red top 051. I'm thinking about, it does have an air leak. It raced once I got it going. It raced away on me without the throttle. It just revved pretty high. I was going to do bearings It sounded a little bit noisy, but I'm thinking about, I've got the seals, I'll just put the seals in. I've got a full gasket kit as well. It's over in the workshop, same as that off Sean. I've built 3 MS170s with 180 engines. Actually 4. I built one for myself with the adjustable carb. I did try the timing advance, ground out the keyway on the flywheel. As soon as I put it on and pulled it, it sheared the key. I did make sure I moved it, tightened it up, but there was just too much material ground off the flywheel, I believe, and it just stuffed it. So it's standard with a muffler mod. The other 3 I've sold. It was about a month ago. I looked on Facebook. I've dealt with this bloke before. My 039 rear handle and air filter cover I bought off him. Anyway, he had a whole heap of Husky, well, not 371 but 345 parts and leaf blowers and 2 whippersnippers he had, 009, still 009, 010 parts, 3 of those big fellas there. That's a K1270 rail saw, Husky. So it's 3 crankcases. This one was the most complete. It was just missing, well, it was missing the blade, but that setup's off another one. Long story short, I filled my whole car with everything he had for $250. The MS170s, 3 of those, mostly 3 of those complete in parts. That's where they come from. MS250, I call them a chassis because it's what the engine bolts to. That was weird. Yeah, that's what the engine, I call it a chassis because it's a clamshell. So that the starter, the handle, the air filter cover, the chain brake lever, and all the hardware was in the chassis. And the handlebar, all that came in the boot of the car. I ported a 023 engine and put it in there. I'll put that video up. Might be at the end of this one. Here he is. It's quicker than the wood with a dull chain. There. Just to give you a look, I've cut a 10-inch log. You can't really tell if it's gained any power or anything. The chain's dull because I've used it before, and in the 023 the engine that was. So I've given that the 023 a facelift. I haven't sold the other 023 just yet. I've got 2 spare chassis that came in that parts lot with the chain brakes assembled and on the chassis. So I'm going to, the plan is to maybe take the hardware for the chain brake, because I've got like a little racing saw over in the workshop. It's an 023C red lever with the decomp on the side. It used to have the primer bulb, but the rear handle assembly that I had for it, I can't get the air filter cover. Over here they're pretty rare, the O2, the O series, so O21, O23, O25. I've got one starter, because it's got the original starter, but there's no writing on the badge, and it's pretty yellow. The plastic's so old, it's gone yellow, it's not white anymore. So I've got one coming, a starter with it's Mickey Mouse. It's white still. It's got like a badge, brand new, and I've got the air filter cover. That'll be going on that saw. I'm going to get the decomp blank bolt from Sean, just because it's the Pharmatech. I took the original out for my 660 over there, the Pharmatech 660, so it didn't. The cap's missing, so it's only a matter of time before it'll drop in the cylinder and Bob's your uncle. So that's all will be completed and put up for sale shortly. Well, once I get those parts in the mail. I bought them 3 days ago. I messaged the seller. This is on Facebook, on one of the Chainsaws Australia group, I believe, or Steel Parts Australia. $40 delivered. So that'll be finished off and sold. I also got 5 or 6 parts steel petrol blowers, the leaf blowers. One of them was a BG72, but it had a FS76 Weed Whacker starter on it. Same thing, just a different model plate. And I had a BG72 blower here. I've only used it once, and I've owned it for 4 or 5 years. We'll say 4 years. The one with the incorrect starter was pretty putrid when I got it. I've got this degreaser. It's made by Septone. I believe they're Aussie. So 50-50 mix in a squirter bottle. 50, so half and half water. My 039 I decided to clean because I've got a complete OEM 039, or for the 390, so the engine from the saw that I got, the handles, the rear handle and the air filter cover from the guy, he still had the engine. And I mentioned the story about the helicoil and all that on the 039. I've still got the original engine out of that, my 039 with the helicoil in it, but this saw now has the matching engine to the rear handle. And anyway, I decided to change the engine. When I found the engine in the hole, all the boxes and bag, well, he had it all in storage boxes, the clear ones, but he kept the boxes. He wanted to keep the boxes, so I put them in the shopping bags. Decided to, after I found the engine, to swap it over. I hit it with the degreaser and I hit it with the pressure washer. My pressure washer's petrol. It's got 5 different nozzles. I use the middle one, and there's no writing on the badge now. All the other, either badges, so the 039, you can only just make out the starter cover one. You can see part of the T, and that's it. But it came back pretty clean. And the saw must have been very, very, very low hours. I've got the carby, the sprocket, not even a chain mark on it, unless it was replaced. The engine, no marks on the piston, on the cylinder whatsoever. I don't know if, I don't know what happened. Whether the guy who bought it passed away and it was a part of a deceased estate. I don't know, but I was pretty lucky. So I sold the 029, the one that used to sit there, remember, that I got off Reese. In this lot of parts I've got, there's another 029, 039 chassis, which is what the engine bolts to. There's an 029 complete engine and a MS310 top end, piston and cylinder, and brand new in the steel container MS310 piston rings, brand new with the label and everything still on it. You know, the little piston thing, the piston ring container they come in, the little, that. Anyway, I'm rambling on. So I've sold 2 steel blowers, the BG72s. My neighbour brought over a blower vac, BG either 56 or 86, the newest model with the vacuum kit. No blower, was making a funny noise, so I got one in the parts lot, engine, the right hand side. Actually, it was complete minus the starter, and the left hand side of the handle, but the trigger, carby, the throttle linkage, all that was there. I just straight swapped, and I'm still waiting for payment for that. But there's another one over there. It's a BG 85 Z, only needs a starter, brand new from the steel shops. They want $140 or $150 depending on which model it is. I said I'm not in a hurry for that. I'll try and source a second-hand one. BG 86C, the AV mount, the one on the AVs. I got one of those. It was missing the starter. Originally, yeah, it was missing this. It was missing a fair. Oh, the coil. Originally, it was missing the coil, starter assembly, and the blower attachment. I ordered those. I found some on eBay up in Cairns near where I used to live. I got them down, put the coil, the starter on, started it, and it was making a knock. So I sat it on the ground, seen what it was doing, because I never went over it. I just whacked the coil and the starter on, and oh, that's right, it was locking up on the fan. It was like there was a loose screw in the fan housing. So I took the fan off, and one of the holes, screw holes, was flogged out, and the screw was moving freely in there. So what I'd done was, there was actually one. The one screw, I put JB, I mixed JB up, put JB on the screw, put it in the hole, until it just started to grab, sort of. Put it all back together, and I stored it the opposite way to where it would fall out. Let it dry overnight, come out the next day, started it, tuned it, got it to idle, turned it off, because when you heat JB up, it goes soft again. So I did that a couple of times. I used it the other day. It's a nice unit. I actually had someone, geez, this chain's sharp. I actually had someone ask me when I had the 272s for sale, if I had a BG 56 or 86 for sale. I said, I've got one coming, because the neighbour said that the bloke that brought the blower vac here, or the vac, that he didn't want it. I said, well, you better bring it back, because I charged $100 for what I did to it. I said, you better bring it back. I said, you either owe me $100 or I want my parts back, because I can build another one. And I still haven't heard or seen it since. That's what happened when you be nice, especially in my neighbourhood. I've done heaps of stuff for him for nothing. GMC 2-stroke I got for, remember all the trimmers I've got out hanging up out here, I've got those blowers at the same time. I sold that as well. It went to a guy that does, I think he said he does arborist or lawn mowing business. He was African. So yeah, I haven't heard everything I've sold. I haven't not received a message. I gave everyone a business card. I said, if you have any problems, send me a text message and bring it back, or we'll work out whatever. So normally, so my warranty is, if you have anything goes wrong apart from straight fueling or whatever, bring it back and I'll fix it for free, and you'll get your first service free. Nothing's come back. I know the chainsaw, the 029's coming back, because I told him you better bring it back because it's new, but I didn't tell him it's new. Well, I did tell him it's a brand new aftermarket top end, but I think they're Indians. I'll just have a cigarette. I'm rambling on. I'll probably edit this, but so yeah, the GMC went. Oh, what else? I've sold 4 chainsaws, 3 blowers. The Ryobi 4-stroke blower. I got all these kits off Sean, and I've always thought they were the wrong ones, but they were the right ones. So I've done the kit, put it back together. It won't fire. Put fuel in the intake. It fires, but it won't draw fuel. So that's over there. Anyway, so I've moved some things on. I've ported the little 024, and I did the top end. So that's the genuine. That one's the ported I've changed. The reason it's got the 026 rear handle and air filter cover on it is because I did the bearings in the 026, but when I put it back together, the cases, it's like the bearings were the wrong size. I do not know why. They started taking chunks out of the case. I did everything I normally do. I heated the inner race of the bearing to slide it onto the cold crankshaft. That went well. I heated the case around the bearing mating surface. Yeah. And then when it went together, no worry, not no worries. A couple of taps with the plastic hammer. I had to use the screws to get it on. That just wouldn't run right. It was running like it before I pulled it apart. So I thought I'd use the ported 024 crankcase, but then after watching Tin Man and Bellhopper, it was port and polished intake, and they both don't like smooth intake, so I thought I'd roughen it up. And while I was in there, I noticed the bottom entry to the transfers were wavy, so I went in and smoothed them out. Well, I didn't smooth it out, I left it rough, but I thought I'd roughen up the hole. Anyway, it revs nicely now, but it's still an 024. I've got 3 weeks until the 3 weeks until the collection area is open, so I can go out and test them out in the bigger wood. So I've done that. I'm sorry I haven't recorded anything, but over there is pretty messy with everything that's over there now. Picked up Homelight 340, I don't think I've showed anyone. And 2 days ago, so today's Thursday, Monday, I went and picked up the Solo 647, which is the same, well it's not the same, but it's identical to that 340 Homelight. It fires fires and runs without the muffler on, but with the muffler on it'll just cough. I'm guessing that's seals. The 340, I can't move this, I'm sorry, but the Homelight 340 is scored pretty badly. It'll run and rev, but it won't idle. So they're projects for on a later date. And I also picked up a Partner 500, only for the starter. Remember the Partner that used to hang here, the 5000. I can now start running cut with it. The compression's that high. My obliques, you know, your muscles down here. Oh. Yeah, it's just a lot of compression. You know, when Robbie, his 045 actually did it to him a few times when he went to start it. It was pop, and it would probably near pull your hand back. Anyway, so that's running now nicely. I've got a little Husky 345 in that whole lot of parts. It's missing the top cover. I sourced the side cover, clutch cover. It needs bearings. It was seized when I got it. The bearings seized, not the piston to the cylinder. Piston and cylinder are Mickey Mouse. It does run. It's noisy like the 038. So the guy I got those two saws off, I also picked up, so the week before I picked up the side cover for the Husky 345. And the 359, I'll give you a look. Remember the Archer bar I got that was hanging here for a while? That's all it fits. So I got that off him on Monday. He had this one when I went to get one for the 345. This one will fit the 345, but it had the tension. The tensioner is built into the side of that. I just removed it yesterday to fit it to that saw because that's still got the tensioner in the case. I'm putting the tensioner back onto the side cover when I remove. I've got to get a clutch removal tool for the Huskies. I've got one. I'll get one off Sean. So moral of the story is I'm getting a few Huskies, replacing steel with Husky. I started this bugger up yesterday and fitted the 24 into it. The 371. Because the chain off this saw, the 20-inch bar, is now on the 359 with the Archer bar. That's what it fits. Someone made it fit a Husky. So yeah, that's about all caught up now, I think. So if the ported A24 doesn't turn out very well cutting, decent sized timber, excuse me, I'm just going to whack the A26 top end on it and put it back together and hang it up over there. Excuse me. So today, I don't know what I'm going to do. Either the Trapeze 041, I've got the new rings here to go in it, Cobra rings, or the 051 seals. Oh, I've got to clean this workbench off, that's why he's pointed up a touch. So yeah, when I dropped my daughter back at the border and I picked up the 045 on the way back, the rail companies have removed the track and they've taken all the good hardwood sleepers, and they've left the track and the rail spikes. So I filled up one of these. I didn't have one on me. We had a plastic bag in the car. I only grabbed probably that much and thought that'll be enough, because I was only going to make like a coat hanger or a hat hanger, or just something to hang. I was only going to make one length with, I think I had 7 or 8 rail spikes, so they're like massive nails. I've only got a quarter of a box left because I've put my saws everywhere. I think I'll film it with my phone and I'll edit it into this. I just don't want to touch the iPad. It's sitting there for now. The cam, you know, the cam with the teeth in it's worn out, and that's as tight as I can get it. So I'll do a quick walk around. I'll do a quick walk around shortly. Thought I'd give you a look of my first ever axe hafting. I'll go and get it. So she's a bit rough, but it splits nice. Didn't have a spoke shave, didn't have a draw knife. All I had was a rasp file. I did stain and burn this handle mahogany. It was overburnt in my opinion, and the mahogany was just too red. Sanded it back. I didn't burn it. This is oak stain and oil. I got 4 axe heads at the same time as I got the saw. I mentioned it in the video. This one's unbranded, no markings. There's markings on it, but it's all I can see is 4.5 pounds. It's a deadly axe. This one's my second. I went and bought a spoke shave. This one works nicely too. Nice split axe. 4.5 pound. unbranded. It's pretty old, was beat up. It was curled over here, down to here. It was a massive edge. This one has nothing. No, oh hang on. Just has 4.5 pound. Pretty much the same head as the other one. They're the local hardwood. They're the local hardware store handles. They're nice. They're thick. I've got a Kelly Works flint edge with the stamp in it, but it's got the two triangles, one on the top right and one down the bottom left. I picked that up locally. Well, not locally. It was a hour-and-a-half drive around trip. I think I got it for $10–15. It was very rusty. I've got a Holtzbrook. I picked that up with the saw up and token wall and a plumb. The Holtzbrook had a vinegar and baking soda bath for 2 days. It was flaking pretty badly, and the plumb, it was surface rust. It's got the black, that black oxide or whatever it is still on it. I want to get some skinny, I might get some Aussie hardwood spotted gum handles for those, I think. I don't mind those handles, but sometimes they tend to break. But anyway, it's enough yabbering for now, I think. This is the Chinese Giants 24-inch bar, machine sharpened. I've got a vacuum kit coming for that blower I made. It's going to be used here at home, all these leaves and stuff. Yeah, I was searching on Facebook the other night while I was at work, sitting there doing nothing, waiting to unload, or waiting to load, sorry, at work. And you know, Buchan's 3/8 depth raker gauge that goes in here. I managed to pick up 3. One's 404. I've already got one, the Husky brand, but the other two are 0.325, I believe. Can't wait for them to arrive in the mail. Because I've got a fair few 0.325 chains I need to be sharpened. So my MS230C, the MS250 with the 023 engine in it, that's 325, the Husky 45. And the little 024, that's 325 pitch. Plus a couple of my China saws and the Partner 5000 is 325 pitch. That's got a new chain on it. It hasn't been touched once yet. So that's pretty much all I've got to fill you in with what's been going on. That tooth dull there. I think the port job's a bit how you going on this as well. I might just order the standard top end again and run this muffler with the bigger port. It went pretty good. Went pretty good standard. Oh, I don't even know why I did that. All I did was open the intake and the exhaust port. I haven't touched the transfers in this, I don't think. I'm still learning the porting part of it, although yeah, this was my first one, I think. No, I've done two previous to China. The generic Chinese saws with the magnesium case, no, not painted, you know, like a bum rag, but the generic. One's 52 and one's 62. They seem to go alright, but with 325 pitch chain you don't really notice it. Anyway, 041, I've got a complete gasket kit for trappies. Only got it for the muffler and actually I could probably use the whole lot bar the fuel tank and the crankcase. I don't know if I'm gonna put the 041 back together today or 051 seals. That might not take very long because I've already had the clutch off, I think. The fuel tank bolts, I've got to do something with them. See if I do the seals today, probably won't ever do the bearings, because I'll have to put JB on the threads because they rattle loose. Or do I have a look at my mate's Dolmar? It runs for about 10 minutes and then cuts out. Then you've got to let it sit for half an hour to 45 minutes before you can start it again. I don't know if that's whether the capacitor fix will fix it or not. It could just mean it needs a new coil, but I've never changed the coil on one because the wires go into the middle. I mean, I've got one there off, it's electronic points ignition, but can't be that hard. It's like it heats up and cuts out. I don't know if the capacitor will fix it. But I can use the one off the 041 with the capacitor already installed on it. See if it does the same thing as that saw did. Run for 6 seconds or 10 seconds and cut out. Anyway, it's just what I fill you in, why I haven't been up. I'd just come outside and forget to bring the iPad. Not only that, I had a lot of stuff to go through. I've still got 2 big storage containers full. Husky demo parts. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. I've got weed whackers, line trimmers to go through, carby kits, fuel hoses, source some line heads and stuff. And all that. 038, I've got to get bearings, seals. I've got the seals and kits there. That'll be soon because I want to use it in winter. I'm going to put the standard, the OEM rear handle back on it after I give it a good clean. And this AV mount on the actual saw itself is in 2 pieces. I'm hoping this will clean up pretty good. Jesus, crap in that fuel tank. The reason this is off because I've got the Pharmatech handle, but I need the Pharmatech operator presence and the black part of the handle and the screw. That's all I need for this genuine handle. Plus I've just realised that the screw's not in that. I'll have to go back and watch the chainsaw guy to find out how that goes in there. I think, yeah, I don't know why I've done that. I think it's to get the earth wire out or something, I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, we're about up to speed, I think. There'll be a series on 009 010s. I've got, what have I got? I've already taken bearings and seals. So the cranks are roller bearings in the bottom end of the conrod. 2 I've already thrown. I've thrown the cranks out. The case is in my aluminium recycling. The seals and the bearings, the good ones I've kept because there was no roller bearings, roller cage, not the cage, just the rollers in the bottom end, and they're not real fun putting back in. I have done it before with grease, just like Bellhopper did. But that was because I had the correct number and they were all there. These ones, the crank, the cases were together. There was no piston, but the blokes let them all fall out, and I don't know where they've gone. So those 2 are wrecked. I got the complete read out of one. I've got oil and fuel caps. So they're pretty rare over here. There's a lot of them, but there's a lot of them that are complete and run. and there's a lot that are wrecked. So I've got, well, there's 3 in the workshop now, orange ones, 009 and an 010 AV, and in the boot of my car I've got 3 shopping plastic bags, so you can get 6 loaves of bread in our bags here. Got 3 of those full of 009, 010, 011, 012 parts. I'm hoping to build at least 3 or 4. An orange variant of the 009 that'll go into my collection, because mine's yellow, mine's a white one with a chain brake. I'll make an orange one without chain brake, so an early one. An 010 AV would be nice in orange. I've got orange. I know there's white crankcases. I'm just filling these in. You just probably won't watch it, but yeah. So I've got all those, plus I've got a MS190 3 or 4T chassis. All the parts, apart from the engine, that I can see so far in the box, at least the caps I could use. I've actually got another chassis in the box down here. I'll just give you a quick look. I've got that's the 193, 92, 93 top handle. I've got a complete 019T chassis starter and the starter cover side. One 92, 93T, that's a chassis to me. Engine bolts in. Twist caps have been removed. They never come on it. When I had it, when I picked it up, sorry. But the other ones pretty much, I've got carby. I think I've got the carby. I've got handles, chain brake, lever. I'm pretty sure the band and hardware is still in it. I haven't really looked in the bag. I'm pretty sure there's carby and everything there. That's still in the boot of the car. But yeah. I might just go inside and chill out. Got home from work at 4:30 this morning, went to bed at 5, got up at 7:30. It's now, I'm guessing around 10:30, 11 o'clock, 10 past 10. Just wait for my job email, and then I'll go back to bed. But I thought I'd fill you in on what I've been doing. Yeah. The other axles I might actually film, hafting them. How I do it. It's not like I try to do it like Buchan does, but I don't have a draw knife, I've got a spoke shave. It's hanging up over the workshop. So I checked. I'll explain that all on the separate video. I don't want to bore you to death. I might even bring you along when we go camping on Easter. The Easter long weekend. We want to go, or the missus wants to go camping. I might even bring you along and give us a look at one of my saws running, whichever one I decide to take camping this time. Might be the little 211, MS211, or the 345 if I've got it fixed and top cover and that by then. That's 325 pitch as well, but I don't have a bar and chain for it. That one might fit it. Yeah. I'll film a walk around on the phone for you and edit it in, and excuse me, catch us on the next one. Have a good day, night, evening, rest of the week. If I don't see you before then, hooroo. Righto, here's a walk around. So here's what I did with the spikes. Rearranged the saws to sit like so. That's my 039, there's no there's a little 211 picked up for $10. That's a brand new top cover. I've got a spare one over in the so I made this bar and chain interactive for the kids, but they can't really get in here. It's off a A7S. It's a 045 I picked up. There's the 051. 119 Dalmar that's still sitting there unfinished. So yeah, this is what I've done with the rail spikes. It's probably my great grandfather's metal wedge there. With 2 axes. So the other 2 I'm going to have sit here, one facing that way, one facing that way. That's what the dots are for. That's where the screws will go. That's all that's holding them up. I got that homie for free. I whacked the good carby out of the Super XL in that. I restored S10. 024 with the 026 rear handle. The ported one, that's the genuine. And the missus got me that for my birthday. Only 462 I'll ever own probably. So yeah. And the workbench. So yeah, that's much better, a lot more room in here now. Pioneer, I'm still trying to find a flywheel key. No, sorry. Plus I've pinched the little module off it. Anyways, there's the walk around. Have a good day everyone. See ya.